Hello dears, in this particular video I'm going to present a lesson on research methods. What makes my video lesson unique from others is this. First of all, I've been undertaking research for academic purpose as well as I've undertaken project-based research. So I dare to develop this lesson and present for you because of that of my experience. On top of that, I have written books on research methodologies and on research methods, I can say, specifically using vernaculars such as Amharic and English language. For instance, this one is what I have or what I have got published recently. This book, when it's read in Amharic, የምርምር ዘዴዎችና አተገባበር. When it is translated, it is to mean that research methods and its implementation. So on my way, especially Ethiopians, if you want to get this book, yes, this book is yours, so you can get. The only thing you do is to request using my email. Okay, having said that, the reason why I've said this is to tell you that the video lessons that I present for you is essential for you, so that it's better to attend all the videos. This is not only the videos, this is introductory parts. There are other videos that I have already developed and broadcasted or posted on my uploaded on my YouTube channel, and also there are others also which I'm gonna develop and upload it on my YouTube channel. So in order to get these lessons, what you do is only to subscribe. I recommend you subscribe so that you can get what I upload on my YouTube channel easily. Great. Having said this, now let us now back to discussing or back to the slide. Now, what does research mean for you? What does research mean for you? Research, when it says, different scholars define it differently, depending on their own aims. But the common one is research means systematic investigation using scientific methods. Yeah, that is it, using scientific methods. Of course, without using scientific methods, all the days, our life is filled with, or life activities are lived with, filled with different problems. And if there are problems, it is inevitable or imminent from our side to solve it. Of course, we are doing so, but it is not scientific. What made research is because it is scientific. And also it is systematic way of investigation and solving problems. Another is meaning for the research, we can say it identifies strengths and weaknesses of our work activity may be. And also it explores new and existing knowledge. What does this mean? There are the knowledge that I've already discovered that we are using nowadays. There are also undiscovered knowledge that's not so far discovered or known or innovated. So it's through the research that we get them. But nowadays, what we are using, maybe technology, they didn't come from the vacuum. They have discovered through research, different types of research. Of course, we, people living in developing countries, most of us, honestly speaking, use the technologies that are already designed and developed by developed countries. That's why we may not sense it. But in actual, all the technology we use, I don't know what to mention, maybe electricity, maybe vehicles, maybe flying objects such as airplane, maybe ship, maybe nowadays internet, and the like, all these, many others have been merged or come or developed or designed based on the research. That's why big organizations, especially manufacturer organizations and the like, have research and development department actually. So research is not something that we see as a simple thing as we do. Research is very important. So as knowledgeable, in order you to be named knowledgeable, you have to know what is research means. So research is simply part of human life and daily activities. It is essential for starting tasks and investigations. It helps understand existing practices. Yeah. By the way, when we talk about existing practices, it does not mean all existing practices known well. No. From time to time, it changes. There are new knowledge as well as there are existing knowledges. Even those existing knowledge by themselves are not explored in depth. So it is research that improves the existing knowledge as well. So the objective of the research is the same. In the same token, it solves problems scientifically. It generates and discover new knowledge, evaluate existing information, support informed decision making. Yeah, when we make decision, we should not do it haphazardly. We have to do it scientifically, systematically. Especially as educated person, we have to do that way. We are advised or recommended to do in that way. So it is the research that helps us do that way or perform that way. Nature of research, as I've already attempted to explain what research means, it is systematic and logical. It is non-linear but cyclical. What does this mean? Research is not something that you do today and complete it tomorrow and then sleep. No. Research is something that you do again and again. By the way, for example, on education, research have been undertaken and still being undertaken, and in the future it is inevitable or imminent to undertake on the research as well in order to innovate, especially nowadays. So in humankind history, research exists, and will exist in the future as well. So it is something that we do again and again. Another is it involves review and refinement. Yeah, when we talk about research, we refine it again and again. It is not something that is done once for all and then paused. Research process, when we talk about research process, it is problem identification. Yeah, of course. One of the major reasons why we undertake research is in order to solve problems. By the way, life is full of problems. So that the problem should be solved. Of course, problems are solved non-scientifically as well, and also scientifically. Data collection analysis, yeah, there should be data, there should be information. In order to give informed decisions, there should be informed decision. In order to make informed decisions, there should be information emanate, or information can be found or derived from data, maybe raw data. And another is to evaluate and prove it. We do that way. So this is the process. Another is learning research. It goes beyond theory. It requires practice and application, involving reflection and evaluation. What does this mean when we talk about learning research? When we undertake research, by the way, we do learn. At the same time, we are learning. Whenever we do something, by the way, we are learning. A person who does not work does not learn. A person who sits cross-handed never learn. In order to learn, you have to do. You learn from your mistakes, yeah? It's known that people who do not work do not do mistake. So from work, we learn. That's why hardworking people learn from time to time. In the same manner, when we undertake research is not something that's simply capturing or getting knowledge. No, that's not enough. It is something that we practice. Whenever we practice research, we know it more, and our skills our competence will enhance. So I recommend you to apply research, not only to talk about research. Research means something like this, we do this way. No, no, no. Beyond that, you have to go beyond that. And it's involved with reflection, evaluation. Reflection on the same, what does reflection mean? Reflection on the same, it is not learning occurs when reflection exists. What does this mean? It is not simply you suck knowledge and put it in your mind. No, you have to utilize it. Wherever you utilize it, that means you reflect. You have to ask it, you have to evaluate it. And also you have to improve based on your evaluation results. That's what you call it learning. That's what you call it learning. That is the way learning or knowledge retain in one's mind. That's all. So when we talk about research, at the same time when you undertake research, at the same time we're learning. Research as a global discipline. Yeah, research is universal. By the way, of course, the kind of research we undertake as a nation in developing country might not be the same like developed countries, because in developed country nowadays, what they do, what they innovate, what they discover, what they invent might be in advanced standard when based with what we are doing, honestly speaking. Anyways, it is universal and interdisciplinary. Interdisciplinary, when I say research does not stand alone, it works or undertaken or it is intertwined with different disciplines. Definitions and the methods vary, of course, from country to country, even within the country, from organization to organization, even from university to university. When we talk research from academic perspectives, it varies depending on our status, depending on our knowledge status. I mean, it depends on purpose and context, so it varies. But what you are learning in my YouTube channel is the basic one, the basic ones. Now, classifications of research by, there are different ways of classifying research. Maybe by its aim. For example, the research might, the aim might be to improve implementation methods, or enhance work and project performance, or it might be to support social and economic development. So the way we approach and undertake research also varies. Benefits of the researcher, yeah. The researcher himself, the one who undertakes a study by himself, benefits from undertaking research. What is the benefit that he acquires or same or get from undertaking research? When we say one, he or she builds confidence and competence. Yeah, when you talk builds confidence and competence, one, by doing research activities, that means when he knows he will be knowledgeable on undertaking research. He is knowledgeable means or competent enough means he can solve problems using scientific methodologies. And he develops critical thinkers. Yeah, research develops or enhances our critical thinking. By the way, I have to say the following critically. Nowadays, especially in school, I mean in institutes or academia, in the developing countries, maybe what I've observed as a trainer, most students, I can say, they simply copy the research that are undertaken so far in order to fulfill of their graduation. That's not right. That should not be what. Anyways, we'll discuss more on that. The reason, one of the aim of my YouTube is in order to make you adept, competent enough, so that you never copy what others do. Anyways, the benefit to the researcher is to make one be competent enough. Strengthens problem-solving skills. Yeah, researchers most of the time can solve problems scientifically. So, researcher will say here as each individual as well as organizations, maybe where if it's done in a group or a team also, it has its own benefit. Okay, research and academic programs. That is the place where we discuss. By the way, even in undergraduate, research is undertaken. Of course, research undertaken in academia because it is a requirement to fulfill the requirement of fulfillment of degree. That's why requirement to fulfillment of what you call it, degree. Yeah, in order to get degree, finally, it is expected for me to undertake research. The naming or nomenclature differs. For instance, for undergraduate, for first degree, it's named research paper, simply paper, I don't know. In master's thesis, for PhD, the research study that you present is named as dissertation. Of course, there are, in some countries, they call thesis as well, for PhD as well, actually. Anyways, that means it is very important. Why? It is required, it is put as requirement for fulfillment of the degree. Why? Because you might learn, most of the time it is expected from the graduate students after coursework to undertake research. Why? In order to enhance one's critical thinking, problem solving skills, many others, so writing skills as well. By the way, if you really, your own, undertake research, the benefit is high. As I've said, the big problem nowadays is there are possibilities students who do not undertake research by themselves and get graduates. So that's a big problem. Especially nowadays in AI era, it might be very difficult to identify who did by himself, who undertake research by himself, and who copied, who cooked, and the like. Anyways, I don't want you to do so, honestly speaking. So we have to. It is bad practice done. Anyways, all of us knows what I'm talking about actually. Anyways, research beyond academia. Yeah, what comes in our mind when you talk about research is the research that are undertaken for fulfillment of degrees. Great? Yeah. But it is beyond that, by the way. And of course, I'm sure that most of you who now watch this video or attend this lesson, most of you might be students who are about to undertake or carry out thesis, maybe, or paper or dissertation. I know, but it should not be that. Research is undertaken also for different reasons. For example, it is used in workshops and conferences. What does it mean? It is used in workshops and conferences when you say, before you begin in the workshop to get into the main discussion, it's better to begin with conferences. Let me tell you, for instance, it is for instance, let us say there are football teams. There are many football teams or club, say, in one specific particular city. I am in Addis Ababa, so in Addis Ababa there are different clubs. Okay, the clubs might want to form associations, let us say. So they might call for conference. So on the conference, before the discussions, the way they form associations, it's better if they begin with discussion with presenting research. For instance, what is the status of football in Ethiopia? What does it look like? The number of clubs and their problems, their challenges, and the like. So in order to present this, it should be done scientifically. So it facilitates discussions. So such kind of these examples that came to my mind. So it helps to facilitate workshops and conference. It supports evidence-based discussions. Yeah, that's what I'm been talking about. It informs policy and decisions. Yeah, decisions, especially policy decisions, should be based on research. It should be based on research, honestly speaking. Great. Another is research in daily life. Yeah, it is also, it benefits as well. I mean, for instance, encourages scientific thinking. It helps solve real life problems. It also avoids random decision making. So understanding this or having knowledge about research by itself also helps us solve our problem in which encounter in our daily life. Research and project development. Yeah, research and project, when I say research by itself is project, by the way, research project. So in academia, it is used only for the fulfillment of the degree, in order to obtain degree. But it is beyond that. In the world work, in the project, almost all projects, I can say, should be designed and developed based on the research. Yeah, that is the very important thing that we should know as a student. Students should not think, university students should not think that undertaking research is confined or only remain there in the academia. No, in the world work also, it is inevitable from them to undertake research. So it's better to understand it while they stay in college and training institutes. That's why it is basis for project design, of course. It identifies community needs. Yeah, especially in community development activities, research has great value. That is a very important part. By the way, not only that, I also wanted to urge the project designers, implementers to undertake research beyond implementing this, because there are ways. Sometimes it is only for fake that research is undertaken. Such kind of things should not be done. Anyways, research should get emphasis. That's what I say. Real research, authentic research, should be undertaken before getting into or delve into designing and implementing projects. So that's why most projects fail. One of the reasons is it is not research based. Another is it guides practical solutions. Yeah, that's all what I've said. Now, when we conclude, research is systematic and cyclical. It is essential for educational and project development as well. It is foundation for scientific problem. So, having said this, next to this is the introductory part. By the way, I've already developed all research proposal. We are going to see the research proposal, its meaning, the way to do, and the nature of it, and the like, in the next video. Till we see one another in other videos, I would like to thank you first and then say bye-bye.